Jai Jinendra. Today we'll talk about the ninth supreme characteristic of the soul, which is Uttam Akinchanya, meaning complete or supreme possessionlessness, meaning you are not detachment, complete detachment. Okay, that is our quality. Okay, our soul is not supposed to be attached to anything of outside, meaning any of these worldly things. That is our quality, that is our attribute. But because we have not self-realized ourselves, we don't know about it. And then we get amazed by all this worldly thing and we get attached to it, and that creates rag and dvesh in us, passions and aversions in us, and we continue binding karmas, and we continue hurting ourselves, our own self, right? By learning about these attributes, it gives us the idea that how can I be happy? How can I be permanently happy? What is that is making me miserable, right? And we realize that. So when we know that these are the kashai, or these are the things which I get engrossed in, is hurting me, then we will try to get rid of it. And when we do that, then these qualities will flourish. These qualities will come out and we will uplift our soul. Now, when and during this Lakshan, we are concentrating on our own weaknesses. Okay, we are concentrating to get rid of our own weaknesses and strengthen our own power, right? Because of our weaknesses, we bound to get into so many wrong things, and we don't realize that in the long term this is going to hurt us, right? It can hurt us physically, it can hurt us mentally, and it can hurt us spiritually also, right? We don't realize that. And so we just stay engrossed, we just follow what everybody is doing, and without thinking whether it's right or wrong, we just do that. Now this Das Lakshan Parva is to awaken us, right? It's there telling us that realize your own qualities. You have it, and you bring them out. You get rid of all these impurities in you. Okay, and you can do it. Everybody can do it. That's what Das Lakshan Parva tells us. And it comes 3 times in a year, so that constant reminder is there. That way we don't forget about it. Okay? Uttam Akinchanya is the complete absence of attachment. Complete absence of attachment. Because being possessive is a sin. Okay, the consequences of that is very bad. There are 24 types of possession. You might have not heard about it, because when we think about possession, we only think that all these belongings, house, car, clothes, jewelry, those are the possession. They are possession, but they are external possession. There are 14 internal possession that we consider our own, and we are being attached to it. Those are, first of all, the wrong perception, then all 4 kashai. Which 4 kashai? Krodh, man, maya, lobh, meaning anger, deceit, ego, and greed. Then 9 no kashai. Okay, there are 9 no kashai. No kashai meaning they are not as powerful as these 4 krodh, man, maya, lobh, but they provoke these 4 kashai. Okay, and those are called hasya, rati, arati, shok, bhay, jugupsa, strived, purushved, napunsakved. Meaning all those no kashai, liking, not liking, being sad, being fearful, being getting involved in our what do you call it, our wishes or our whatever the desires, our desires, okay, all those are called no kashai. And these are internal parigrah, internal possessions. And when we become possessionless, or when we get rid of all our possession, that means we get rid of all these internal possession also. Now when we get rid of this internal possession, this happens at a higher level of the soul. When that happens, then we get detached to all the external possession also. Those external possessions are like the estate or house, or our jewelries and our wealth, then all the grains and all the food items, then our pets, or like if you own a horse or a cow, those, then or your servants, okay, then your car and other means of commuting, then your furniture and all those things that you have in your house. We are so attached to it, right? And when these are all called external possession. You will say that how do we know that we are attached to this possession? Think about it. If something happens to your car, okay, it feels like something happened to you. You get so hurt, you get so worried, right? If something happens to your jewelry, like you like the jewelry or your watch or anything, and you lose it, right? It gives you so much anxiety, it gives you so much misery, because you are so attached to it. So attachment always causes misery. Our house, if something happens to it, something breaks down, anything that happens, we get so anxious. When we are anxious, then we don't feel good. It's a bad feeling, right? And it hurts us. So why it happened? The root cause of that is that we are attached to it. We are so attached to our family, we are so attached to our peers, we are so attached to almost everything that's around us, right? And if anything goes wrong, or if anything happens to them, then we are miserable and we cannot cope with it. When we become miserable, we'll cry, we will do all kind of tantrums and what's not, right? And that gives us artha dhyan. Artha dhyan meaning you are constantly thinking about it and being unhappy, and that gives us lot of bad karmas, lot of path, right? So we don't know the consequences of that at that moment, but it happens. And it's a fact that whenever we are doing artha dhyan, um, we will bind bad karmas, okay, pap karmas, right? So we need to understand that fact, and then we need to work on our possessiveness. When this is the reminder, this Das Lakshan Parva reminds us that you are being miserable because of your own mistake, because of your own weakness. No one else is there to be blamed for. Okay? We always try to blame others for our wrongdoing, or our whatever goes wrong with us. We right away blame somebody else. That's not true. That's not the case. We are our own, we are the one who are responsible for our own deeds, our own weaknesses, our own kashai, our own possessiveness, and all that. We are the one, and we are the one who can correct it, right? So that is the reason why we need to work on it. So, and it's not just limited to these 10 days, okay? Remember, this is something that should be put in a practice for every day, for throughout our life. These 10 days are just a reminder. It reminds us that bring out your own qualities. So remember that Uttam Akinchanya, total detachment, is our own nature. Okay, the soul's nature is not to get attached to things, not to get attached to the belongings that are there, and we get it and we lose it and nothing is permanent, right? So that is our quality. So hopefully we all realize that, and we all put it in a practice in our day-to-day life. Jai Jinendra.